sticks, man. That United States power, bro. Man, changing that flat tire is no joke.
Imagine her in my stomach right now.
Wow.
Good morning. Appreciate it. Great to meet you. Appreciate y'all out here. Nice to meet you. Yeah, pleasure.
See the it's fed by like a joystick system. You sit down in it. That thing's nasty. That thing is one of the meanest weapons. It's fucking fun. They're putting like a 30 millimeter, so it's like shooting small grenades. They're putting the new system up there. Man, it's cool. We're out here, man. Camp Pendleton, doing the damn thing. Got an invite to speak out here, and we accept, right? That's it's important, man. Got the Marines out here, so we'll see. Lay it down, tell the message, tell the story, right? Choices, self-sabotage, all very, very important. It's pulling yourself out of the rut. Like, ruts aren't permanent states. It's an important thing for people to remember is you have these times of compression, times of expansion. And remembering, either one will not last. If you're flying high, it ain't gonna last. And also, if you're very low, that ain't gonna last either. So it's just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Don't make permanent choices on temporary emotions. And that's like the most important thing. Man, so what you think, Gons? Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah.
We're out here on the flow, dude.
Dude.
We've been hitting all the fronts, man. Indian reservations, bro.
You guys haven't.
We've been hitting
Hamilton,
sweat houses,
bro.
fucking military bases, gyms.
Gyms from literally all the way to Menifee, Lake
Man,
Elsinore,
LA, dude.
all the way to LA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
We went to
1 year ago
Man.
in a French Foreign Legion barracks room. 1 year, 11 months, man. That's some change. Could have not written the story. I could have never written what I thought. Got Brittany, the fiance, pregnant, business booming, speaking. Dude, had the vision though, man. I couldn't write the story because I wasn't walking the path yet. But once I started actually actioning, man, and being grateful for the moment, being grateful for owning and being correct in that moment while maintaining a vision on the horizon. Now, you got to know where you're heading, so get your direction, then start actioning in the immediate. That's all it's about, and enjoy that process. And then, man, you look up, and next thing you know, speaking engagements, a lot of connections, things building, life building. It's very powerful, man. Very grateful. Maintain that gratitude. It's a fucking cheat code. Real quick. I'm gonna walk down here real quick, man. Military bases are powerful, man. How much money these things are. Man, the power of the United States, man. The American military, dude. It's when I was in France in the Foreign Legion, it was super interesting because, man, the American military is revered. Everybody knows, man, who's the big cheese internationally, militarily speaking. And people talk about China and Russia, dude. America, there's no competition as far as how much power and funding and ability to maneuver and mobilize quickly. It's impressive, man. It's just impressive. Look around. Look around at this spot. Camp Pendleton. A lot of people might not know, man, I grew up on a Marine base in my formative years. My dad was a Marine. So it's cool being back here. And even though Marines turned me down first time, which I think's funny now, coming back here speaking, right? That's, you gotta love it, man. The irony of stuff, man.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Third Tracks. Yeah. Oh, come on, good morning, good Third Tracks. Yeah. Yeah, yes? Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes? Yeah, yes. Come on, we can do better than that. Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes? Yeah, yes. You ain't tracks? You ain't shit. You ain't tracks? You ain't shit. You ain't tracks? You ain't shit. Hoorah! Okay. You're gonna get one thing out of this, I know for sure. Absolutely for sure. Your speaker today is sought after. He's on Urban Valor on a podcast. He's a sought after speaker not only in the military world but in the civilian world. And I'm going to read his bio. It's not only on his life experience but on mental health, physical health, and not many people get to this point in life and still be around to tell about it. So, without further ado, this guy a big yes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate everyone being out here, man. It's pretty epic talking to a bunch of devil dogs. It's like full circle for me, man. I just got back to the United States 11 months ago from France. And a little known fact, I actually tried to get into the Marine Corps and they turned me down, man, for too many tattoos when I was trying to get in. But that's neither here nor there. And I grew up my dad was a Marine on the base up in Tustin. There used to be an old Chinook base up there. So I kind of, before that got shut down, I think it's condos now. But man, my story today is about choices, man. Self-sabotage and choices. I made some fucking good choices and a fuck ton of bad choices. But I've had to make some drastic moves to fix some shit, and that's kind of why my story is how it is, leading me to this, speaking with you today, which I'm grateful for. I got kicked out of high school. I'm actually from here, but I was, playing football and stuff. But my bad choices kind of started there. Marijuana, fighting, all that. I lost some looks, and that started about a 4 or 5 year just run of trying to go to JC, kind of piecing together things, making it work, making money in all the bad ways. But slowly but surely pieced together some sort of a college degree, and I was like, always wanted to go in the military. Knew that was what I was gonna do, but it was always like, okay, I'll shelf it until it's time, and well, now it was time. And when I went in to talk to the recruiters, they're like, dude, you're fucking on probation, man, and you have pending court cases. There's no fucking way you can get in the military. So I got a judge and tried to figure out what I needed to do to get in, and they go, you gotta go to jail. So they sent me to jail for like 6 months up in like San Francisco area. Lockdown facility, 23 hours a day. It was nothing like, not some crazy prison yard shit, but it was, 4 months in jail sucked. And getting out though, now it was clear. Went talked to the Marine Corps, I wanted to do that. They said no, they said get fucked, too many tattoos, no dice. So I went to the Army, man. I was like, the Army will take anybody, I'm good. And that was not the case. They said too criminal background checker, too much, no. So I was at a pretty low point, man. I was depressed as shit. I was 23, living on my mom's couch, dude. Riding a bike, because I had a fucking DUI, so I had no car, riding a bike to the recruiter's office, and now everybody's turning me down. So that's kind of where I started doing my research. I was like, the French Foreign Legion kind of came on my radar. I was like, all right, well, if that's my look red, grab red, I'll do that if I want to serve. But I wanted to be in the United States, man. That's where my loyalty is, and that's what I wanted to do. So I threw a Hail Mary and I went to the Navy, man, because I wanted to be a SEAL, but I was like, I thought that was kind of a pipe dream. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I fucking hate running too, man. I hate running, and I know that was a substantial part. So I was like, man, we'll see what they can do. And an E6 in there, man, a petty officer, he looked at my rap sheet. Everything was covered, paid, so it wasn't like, there was pending stuff. But he said, yeah, we can work with this man. And I said, all right, well, what are my options? I want to be here, be a SEAL. He's like, good, because you have very few options of what jobs you can do. And if you can pass all the screening tests and whatever, get your letters of recommendations and the waivers and all that shit, then we'll see what we can do. I said, all right. So I started that process. making it through MEPS, which was fucking stressful and all these things, and had to do a lot of extra interviews and whatever, but okay, now I'm in MEPS, now I'm depth in the Navy, now I'm training with active duty SEALs, actually running around Pendleton with some guys and trying to get in shape, man. And I was like 240, went down to about 180 in like probably 2 months, puking every day, but really, really focused. These are one of those periods of my life where I had like these focus points, where I was locked the fuck on. It was the off the field shit, man, that was always my issue. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get locked on right now. Training, 9 months, letters of recommendation, whatever, okay. Now I get my SEAL contract, now I ship. I go to boot camp, all that shit, buds, SQT, go all the way through. A little bit of luck, but also I, trained. So made it through. We had 400 people we started with, 285 to 185. We graduated with 13 originals. So I was one of those 13 originals that went all the way through, class 284. Now I get picked up for SEAL Team 7. So stoked. My dream, man, made it. I was fucking at my locker, was locked on, super focused, but man, there was an old Master Chief in Buds, and he said something fucking important to me that I wish I would have remembered or understood better. He's like, imagine, this was in Buds, we're sitting in a room like this. He's like, you're jumping into an AO, it's dark, the fucking ramp drops, you jump in, some shit gets fucked up on the way down. Now you're by yourself. You're behind enemy lines, and you don't have anybody with you. He's like, okay, you find your bearings. He's like, then over a hill, you see a dude come over. He's backlit, but you can see who it is. He's like, one of two dudes comes over that hill. The dude that you see and you go, fuck, I'm fucked. This dude's with me, man, fuck, I'm gonna have to do all this shit myself. I'm gonna die. He's like, or you have a dude come over the hill and you're like, yes, fucking that dude, I'm gonna be good. We're good. He's like, be that second dude. Are you that second guy? If you're not, fix yourself. And I always approached the teams as like, oh, I'm that dude. But I forgot a very important point, man. All the off the field shit matters too. You gotta be a good teammate. Mission readiness requires you actually fucking being there. And so, with that in mind, now we go to Yemen, we go to Iraq, we do some other things, but through this time period, it's getting a little bit looser. We're partying a little bit harder on the weekends. We're still training hard, but we're partying hard too. I hit a guy in a fucking bar, man. One punch, I'm telling you, it takes one time. Now I got an aggravated assault charge. Now my top secret clearance is getting pulled. Now I'm getting sued for fucking $500,000. Now I'm getting a plea deal for 6 years in prison plus 3. So hemorrhaging cash, have demoted, all that shit. We're prepping for Iraq at the time. Powers that be, I bail out. We still have a pending court case. They let me go to Iraq on bail, which is kind of unheard of, but I get my top secret clearance back and I'm in Iraq. Now that entire time in Iraq, I have a pending court case coming back for 6 years in prison plus 3, which stressful as shit. I volunteered to stay over there longer. And I actually was thinking about joining the Kurdish Peshmerga, man. I was not looking forward to coming back here, man. I was pretty stressed out, but the rubber meets the road at some point, and we're coming back, and now I got a court case. So we talked to my lawyer. He's like, dude, you might burn for this, man, for real. I was like, am I gonna be okay? He's like, dude, you might fucking burn for this, dude. They want you. And so I had to charge the machine gun nest. We got to go, and I'm hungover, man, and I'm like, this is the day before the trial. We're going into actual trial, man. I'm in my dress blues, man, trying all this shit. I'm like, damn, dude, this is really going down. They gave me a deal. They get it on the court. If I pay all this money, it was my entire Iraq check. I sold my truck, had to pay this dude all this money, which was fine, but they kept it as a misdemeanor, maxed out. Now I'm on formal probation, active duty, can't leave San Diego, can't own a weapon. I don't know how the fuck this was all supposed to work out. Not supposed to drink, not supposed to this, not all these stipulations. And it would have worked, it would have been fine if I was smart enough to be like, okay, that's my line, but I had to go further, apparently. I had to fucking bottom out even more. And I was locked on, man, for like a month. And then it started getting loose again, I go to a fucking Jimmy Buffett concert, man, and I get arrested riding a fucking golf cart. Dead serious, man. That's how this happened, bro. I get in a golf cart in the parking lot, dude, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it for a little tool. Cops pull up. I have no shirt on, and I'm like, dude, I'm about to get rolled up. I start running. They sick the dog on me, tackle me, tase me, dude. Hundreds of people watching this. Wasting away again and Mark in the background, dude. Dead serious. It's like the juxtaposition of this shit was, you can't make it up. But dude, when I got in and the cops gave me all the love on the way in, dude. Blast me in the face, throw me in the back of the car. And I knew that I had hit the nail in the coffin on my SEAL career. I knew it. That I'd been in about 6-7 years at this point. And I was like, well, I said, call it SEAL Team 7, man. Because I knew it was like the gig was up. There was no hiding this thing, dude. And sure enough, man, I had the wave of shit that came down from that. Not just for me, but for other people too. Because now my team's mustered. Now my team's mustered on a fucking Sunday because I fucked up, right? I'm getting all the calls and this, and it was embarrassing, man. And the self-loathing part was the worst. And I always say, man, choices, right? Choices. I set myself up for failure with all these small little choices that I thought were just a small thing. I'm just gonna go out here and go out there. Hey, I'm in shape, I'm working out. But all those choices culminated, and I say, man, just be aware, be mindful of what you're fucking doing. Like, what is the trade-off? Is me doing this gonna make me a better teammate, a better Marine, a better whatever? If it's not, fucking okay. If you're gonna still do it, fine. But just be aware of what the repercussions might be, right? Are you throwing your career away? Are you really rolling the fucking dice? Just be mindful and be okay with if the axe does fall, don't cry about it. That's about it, man. And so when all the wave came down, Navy Jack wanted my ass, man, because this was my second time, right? And I had pretty much wiggled out of it the first time with just a demotion. And now this was the second time. Drug test passed, that passed, man. Steroid tested me up in, they sent it to the Olympic Testing Center, man. Failed that fucking thing hard, dude. Lit up every light on that motherfucker. And they're like, dude, you're screwed, man. Zero tolerance, man. They look at it like drugs. That's how, and I said, okay, so that was it. That was it for me, man. And now I also have a violation of my probation, so that civil side's not done. So I have to go back to jail in Idaho, man, which is the second time I have been up in jail as an active duty SEAL, man. And now I'm getting extradited by federal marshals in a van, like lawyers calling from 3 states, dude. I'm hemorrhaging cash. I'm broke now, dude. And it was done. It was super done, man. And through this process, I wasn't an idiot. I'm like trying to leverage. I knew I was getting out, so I knew I needed to get a job. I go into like a construction field, doing some supervising. But the day I get out, the day pretty much, I'm like, well, I got nothing really holding me back. So I started stacking bad habits like it was my fucking job. I'm talking Adderall, Xanax, weed, alcohol, every fucking day, dude. 7 days a week, man. I didn't miss. But I was achieving some measures of success. I was pretty successful in what I was doing, so I'm at the house with the girl in the car and all this shit. I'm like, hey man, nobody can tell me shit. I successfully transitioned out of the military, but I had not addressed anything regarding identity, man. I had lost my entire dream, everything I wanted to do, everything I tied my entire identity to that badge, bro, that tribe. It was who I was. But I just shelved it, man. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna work and try to make money, and that's gonna be my identity. And that was faulty because, and it would prove to be, as that's going on now, marijuana becomes legal. Another former team guy, we launch a cannabis company. We start building out a cannabis distribution company. For the first year, it was legal. And all those bad habits are still going on. We're building, we're pitching decks for millions of dollars now. We're doing lots of different stuff. And now I stack on an opiate habit. Man, if it was fentanyl, even better. Man, bro, dead serious, man. I did every fucking day at night. But I was like, oh, I'm not doing it in the day. It's cool, and I'm still making money, man. I'm still making moves, so whatever. And I couldn't listen. You couldn't tell me I was wrong. I lack self-awareness on a massive scale. That you can't bend reality that long. If you're playing with fire, bro, long enough, you're gonna get smoke checked. And it all came crashing down, man. I did a line one day, and I went face down, fucking split my face up. My girlfriend at the time screaming, and it was just, everything fell apart. I was pretty much fired, lost job, girl, everything's gone. And I find myself about 3 months later in my truck, homeless, with a sawed-off shotgun on my side passenger seat, thinking about smoke checking myself. I'm like, dude, just tired, bro. Not sad. Not like crying, fucking, I don't even remember last time. I was just tired of like trying or whatever the fuck it was. And I sat there for 3 days, man. I was like sipping vodka, and I would get out and like go for these walks, dude. And I had no money to even put gas in my truck, dude. I was just like completely bottomed out. And I had this, man, I call it the authentic voice of God, but whatever you want to call it, man, universe, moment of clarity, whatever. I just had this moment that it was like, dude, you are being a fucking bitch. Listen to yourself. It was like, dude, if you put a mic to my internal dialogue, it was me, I, whoa, why am I fucking, when really, once I pushed and pointed all the fingers at myself, and I remembered also, man, I had a sister, a mom. I grew up with this, my single mom pretty much, and I had people that loved me, man. I had friends and still connections, but I had just completely gone off the grid and wasn't seeing any of that. I lost all gratitude, and that's a really key piece, man. Gratitude's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to bump that vibration back up to the correct frame, because once you lose it, you really lose perspective on reality. And opportunity. And the minute I changed that, I decided, man, if I'm gonna die, right, if I'm gonna go out, it's not gonna be by my own hands. I'm gonna at least go out with some fucking honor with my boots on. So that's when I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in the French Foreign Legion. Let's do this shit. And so I took out like some fast cash loans and bought a ticket to France. And I was in France about 8 days later. And this was 2019, mind you, just to kind of give you some frame. I'm 39, if anybody wants to know. So I go, well, I'm in France now. And if anybody doesn't know, anybody know what the Foreign Legion is? Does anybody know what that is? Well, it's like an old institution. It's like 200 years old. Started by some old king, and a bunch of foreign fighters, man. Foreign fighters for France. And I wasn't sure if they were going to take me. I was scared if they wouldn't take me. They would, but there's really no other way to join than just show up and knock on the door. You knock on this like big iron gate, dude, and 365 days a year, 7 days a week, dude, you go on there Christmas fucking day, you knock on the door, dude's gonna open it up. It's like Wizard of Oz, dude. A fucking dude opens it up. It's wild. It's a kind of a trip when you reflect back on it. But this dude opened up, man. It was a Mexican dude, Foreign Legionnaire. He had a Green Beret, FAMAS. What was that, like that bullpup rifle? And he's like, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Like, what's going on? And I said, oh, je suis ici pour la Legion. I Googled it before I fucking went in there. And he goes, all right, go sit down. And so I go and I sit, and I was just thinking, man, like, what the fuck am I doing here? How did this happen? Was really, and I'm so like, my life's kind of, all the noise is gone now. Right now it's just me. There's no running fast. There's no anything. I'm just in this room by myself. It was a Sunday night. It's raining, dude. And I just was like, all right, well, let's see how this pans out. So I started the processing, which is just, you're in civilian clothes at the beginning, but you go in, man, and it's just guys from all over the world. I mean, we had guys from Mongolia, Thailand, Colombia, Nepal, every African nation, bro. It's pretty powerful when you're sitting in there and nobody can speak to each other because we don't speak the same fucking language, man. And they're yelling at us in French by some dude with a Russian accent, bro. It's such a trip, dude, but it really makes you reflect on the choices that brought you to that moment. But I was just like fortunate to be in like a positive thing again. It had been a very long time since I had been on that path. like back on it, like, all right, I'm actually doing something deliberate, picking the pen back up, man, let's do this thing. And we started the IQ test, medical boards, psychological evaluations, then you go through some deep Interpol background checks. They're asking you, man, they sit you down, they go, what the fuck are you doing here? Why is an American here? And what the fuck's going on, man? And they got a ton of respect for the Marine Corps out there, bro, just so you know, the Foreign Legion knows all about the Marines, dude. And he goes, you know, this is gonna fucking, you're going back to the bottom, man. He goes, do you understand this? This guy spoke English. And I said, dude, I ruined my whole fucking life and I need a second chance. That's what I told him. And he goes, all right, well, here you go. So we're gonna give you a contract after we do some, like, we did some physical tests and shit like that. And it had been about a month of processing for this time. So I go to boot camp, dude, and the French Foreign Legion boot camp is just kicking the nuts, man. It's nothing crazy. It's infantry boot camp, right? But the trickles, because I had brought my DD-214 in there, I wasn't like, hey, I'm a fucking former Navy SEAL, I was not doing that shit. But, you know, little trickles would come in, and so I got a lot of extra love, man. Like, hey, Navy SEAL, come clean this fucking toilet, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. And that went on for like years, bro. Years of that shit. And for the first year, I was depressed as shit. Dude, I was completely cut off, isolated in a new country, back at the bottom, like the bottom. Not even like normal bottom, like foreign immigrant, like foreign fighter bottom. So it was a baptism in humility, man. And I hit this point where I just, maybe my karmic debt burned off or something, but I felt like something lift, and I really realized, man, I was like scrubbing this toilet one day and I went, man, I fucking earned this spot, dude. Like, this is exactly where I need to be, because that's where I'm at. And it was a very powerful feeling when you realize that every decision you make, if you're happy, sad, whatever, dude, you did it, you earned it, and you can change it. And so I really started to kind of dive into myself, not to get all fucking woo-woo guru, but really started to go into, man, my internal state is my responsibility. Like, nothing external with me can bother me. They couldn't shake me, man. They couldn't break me. Man, they tried, bro. Trust me. One time this colonel saw me marching like shit. I don't know if you guys see, like, the Foreign Legion walks kind of, they do like a super weird march. But he didn't like it. I marched with like a little bit of swag or something, and he goes that American with the fucking tattoos, and he's like, he marche comme cette merde. He marches like shit. And I get called into the office and they go screaming at me, dude. I'm in the push-up position in the fucking barracks for like hours. Dude, my shoulders are smoked. I'm like, what is going on? And they go, all right, well, here's what happened, and so here's your punishment. It's December, probably about this time, honestly, some years back. And they go, you're gonna build a pyramid outside with rocks as tall as you, with as wide a base as you, and fucking do it. That's what you're doing until you're done. And I go, there's no rocks. And I go, well, you better fucking figure it out. So I was putting rocks in my backpack, dude, for 3 days, 16, 17 hours a day in the snow, dude. It was miserable. But I just remember being out there being like, you earned it, bro. You fucking earned it, man. This is where you need to be. And it was freeing, man. It was freeing to be in that state. But it was some years of that. We deployed to South America doing interdiction of illegal gold mining in the Amazon, on the Suriname, Brazilian, French Guiana border, deep jungle operations. We did stuff with NATO. We deployed on the Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group when the Ukraine invasion happened. And a lot of people don't know, 10% of the Foreign Legion's Ukrainian. So that was kind of an interesting vibe, man, during that time. It's powerful. But that whole process was shedding of this skin, where it was about 2-3 years in. And I still am like, okay, what's next, right? I still wasn't happy. That was a piece. I was still like seeking, man. The seeks to suffer. And I was like, well, okay, Ukraine's popping off, and let's go to a foreign unit there. And I was looking at mercenary groups in Africa, which is why I had gone there to learn French. 26 countries in Africa speak French, man. And so I was like, well, this is just where I'm gonna go for the rest of my life. And I go, where does this shit end? I go, dude, I'm like pushing 40 and I still felt good, man. And I'm just like, do I just do this till I fucking take a bullet, or like what's my end state here? And that question was important because I realized that I was still trying to find these external things to make myself feel good. Like I needed this external institution to define me. And once I realized that it was actually, there was nothing else. There's nothing else you're gonna fucking do, man. You're a Marine, right? But that's not who your identity is, right? You're deeper than that. And I think that that's a very crucial point to realize, that your self-worth isn't tied to the name, to the badge or anything, right? Because that shit can get taken away from you. So, and at some point you gotta hang up the cleats. What are you then? So I go, man, I gotta start working internal, man. So I just went back to the basics, back to the fucking basics. Just, man, are you good at going PT for the Marine Corps? It's not enough. Wake up earlier, train before, do all this shit. That's what I was doing in the Foreign Legion, man. I was waking up at 3:30, training in the bathroom, not like some psychotic motherfucker doing, bazillion burpees, but just being more deliberate about my morning, tracking the food, man, like being better every day. Being mindful, reading some philosophy and some stoic shit, and starting to really understand how I thought and why I kept self-sabotaging, why I kept breaking my fucking life apart again and again and again and again. And I wanted to fix that. I didn't want to do that shit anymore. Being in that low point, man, let me tell you, I'm sure everybody here has been at a low point. You can be at a lower point. Don't do that to yourself. Listen to someone who's already done it and been there. You don't want to be in that car, man, having fucked your whole life up and having to start back over. It's not a good point, and you don't need to do it. So just stack the deck in your favor. Start with your daily habits. Start with pushing yourself. That voice that's probably tighten it up, put the fucking video games down, man. Stop looking at the porn. Stop all that shit, dude. Listen to that shit. That shit, everything matters. There's no such thing as a small decision. They add up over time, man, and you're just stacking karmic debt against yourself that you're gonna burn off at some point. So that's what I did, man, and finally, after some years of doing that in the Foreign Legion, man, I realized, holy shit, dude, I haven't had a bad day in years. It was a fucking weird feeling, dude. I had this moment where I haven't had a bad day. Like I can't even remember the fucking last time I had a bad day. Dead serious. And years ago, man. And I might have a bad moment, a bad 5 minutes or a bad hour, but I haven't had a bad day in a long time, man. And I was proud of that. That was like I've done some cool shit. The most thing I'm ever proud of is like learning to live right. And then good shit started to happen. Man, I got out of the Legion, I got back to the United States. Man, I got a beautiful fiance, baby on the way, right? Business is booming. And live in a fucking house on the golf course, bro, in a gated community, man. And I remember so clearly what that was like being suicidal in my truck half a decade ago, right? Almost to the day. And I remember that every day, because even in that French Foreign Legion barracks room, I do the same shit at the house on the golf course. Dude, just this morning, you can ask my fiance, I was up at 3:30 in the morning doing fucking push-ups in the bathroom. I have not missed a day. Dead serious. Have not missed a day, not missed a wake up. And being mindful and learning non-negotiable habits was an absolute fundamental game changer for me. And I'm poor. And I'm not gonna tell you what to do, you're all grown-ass men and women here. But I'll tell you what to do, where to look to find some answers. Think about what you're doing, man. Tighten up your day. Keep pushing into a little bit more self-development. Your self-development is intimately tied to your level of success, right? Your level of success is tied to your level of self-development. So the more you self-develop, man, that's when health, wealth, better quality of life, man, commitment to excellence. Commit to excellence, it's important. You get one fucking go on this rodeo, dude. Like, write an epic story, write something you're proud of. If you're watching a movie, man, would you watch yourself? Would you be proud of yourself? Because you guys are setting yourself up for success right now, man. Being a Marine, dude, a lot of people do that. Now you're already writing a good story. Now what else is next, right? Stay in career, stay in the military. Man, be fucking great. If you're gonna get out, be fucking great. Be that guy over that hill. That's that second dude, right? Be that fuck, yes, it's this motherfucker on my team. If you're living your life that way, I promise you, your quality of life, your fulfillment, man, you're gonna have a good run. So I want to be sitting on my deathbed, man, like I fucking did it, right? I'm not trying to be well preserved, man. I'm trying to live the good life, right? So I appreciate everyone's time here. I'm not gonna sit here and talk your ear off, but it's cool being back here, man. This energy, it's being back in the United States, seeing this fucking power, bro. This is a very special place we're at in world, in time, in history, bro. The most powerful military on the fucking planet, and one of the most prestigious units on the planet, the Marine Corps, man. This is where we're at. It's fucking cool, man. Right? Don't forget where we're at. So, thanks everybody for your time, dude. And
we got some awards. So as a teacher, it's a small world. You say, what's your purpose? I retired. Turns out Taylor's fiance was in my school up in Newport Beach, and she ran the mile every Friday with me. Hoorah right there to Brittany. No, come on, hoorah! That baby can hear inside. It's gonna be a runner, because she ran the mile every Friday. Rain or shine, fog, Newport Beach like this, 8 in the morning, she'll take it, suck, girls get all ready, you know, dolled up, get dropped off by mom and dad, change and suit up in those PE uniforms and get out. We ran the mile. And when I retired, I ran the mile all the way I wasn't those old fat PE guys. I ran with my kids until I retired, and now I'm going down here. All right, I got some cool awards, but real quick, he touched on a lot of things. I spoke yesterday in the Women's Leadership Education Conference up at the Air Wing. The colonel up there, Colonel Hauser was there, all these colonels up there, everything. I had to put together a whole thing, and he's touched on so many things that are so important to what you're hearing today. It's so funny, it's like chunks of this. One of my close friends, you talk certain things, but one of my close friends is a U.S. Olympic doctor. He does all the Kelly Slater, you know, that's all the surfers. And he's up there in Newport, and we talk every day. And I said, give me a nugget you could give some of these people who are down in the dumps. And he said, he used this quote, and it really resonated with a lot of people. And he's driving on the way to surgery yesterday morning, and he popped this one out. It says, anxiety is the overestimating of the problem and the underestimating your ability to handle it.
oh, that's good.
Listen to this again. Anxiety is the overestimating of the problem and the underestimating your ability to handle it. You're all gold medalists all there. You all got through boot camp. You all got through amphibious schoolhouse. You all have skill sets. You're going to run into a problem. You'll be able to figure it out. And I asked him as a surgeon. He gets in there every day, all different body styles. Sometimes the tools break. Sometimes the titanium kneecap isn't what it's supposed to be on that person's knee. And he's in surgery. He's got to fix it and figure it out. Not all the time, but once in a while there's a little hiccup. Just like these vehicles and stuff that you're dealing with every day. So think about that. When you hit a real tough thing, you can rely on yourself. You can figure that out. Worst case scenario is there's somebody probably around you that can help you. Don't freak out about it. We all have those times.
I like that.
Okay. And the last thing, I'm wearing gratitude. One of your future speakers, you don't even know it. He's a 2-time Vietnam veteran. He changed the course of my life. Got me into university, small university in Malibu called Pepperdine University. Got me in as a walk-on. I was just 5'11", nothing. And I got a gold ring. I won a national championship. I was the short guy, not the 6'5", the big guy. I had to fail several times and get to the deep down dumps and work out and say I can compete with these guys. And you can. You can. You can compete with the big guys. It's all about, like you said, it's an inner self. It's your head. What's your head tell you? You're as good as you think you are. Right? Right?
We hope.
Right? Yeah.
Sometimes.
You know. One question for her. She gets to win some back there because she came out here today. All right? Tyler, you get to choose it. Puts her on a question.
Oh, I ain't asking the Sergeant Major.
You're not going to ask her a question? Come on, she's ready. All right.
It's all you.
One thing that stood out was exactly that. Don't make a final decision on a temporary emotion.
Yeah.
Really stood out, and I think it's a lot. Just human aspect off the uniform off is like a reality check. It says a lot without saying anything at all because everybody's journey's different, and I think it can pinpoint and our purpose and that second dude standing on top of the hill is what matters, and you have to imagine that. But it takes each and one of us around us to make that happen. So I just wanted to tell you thank you for coming out. Your fiance is beautiful. Congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
And yes!
Y'all have a good Friday, bro.
Working on it.
Yeah. What time you guys get cut away on Fridays?
Sometime goddamn soon, hopefully.
Yeah. I just vote.
Hey, appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks, you guys.
Charlie Company.
Yeah, bro.
I'm working on it. Oh, yeah, I got you.
Dr. Bates, we got a picture with you. Kavanaugh.
Goddamn, believe it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, bro. We're getting it.
No, straight up. We're getting it. Y'all go first and then y'all.
Dude, the name kind of sounds familiar, not gonna lie, bro. You know?
I found a fucking Instagram with yeah. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
The girl, she'll be running. His age about that. That's true. You know, it's sad.
I gotta get it. I gotta get it cut.
It's pretty damn good, bro. You're pushing that line.
It's pushing. I gotta.
Yeah.
This weekend I'm gonna take
Respect, dude. I'm all about pushing the line a little bit.
Oh, 100%. But
Thanks for coming out.
Hey, dude, hey, appreciate you guys listening, man.
Yeah,
no,
of course.
no, dude. Nah, appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you for coming out.
Hey, no, thank you.
You really spoke to me. My dad went to prison for a really long time, and so hearing your story was like really motivational.
I appreciate that, dude.
I struggle with like letting people know like what's going on family wise and
Bro,
stuff
let
like
it out,
that.
dude.
So I just want to say thank you very much.
No, dude, you're in the right spot, man. Remember, just stack your day good, bro. Start building that shit.
Thank you.
Just want to say that it really helped me a lot.
Thank you.
I'm from Brazil, you're talking about Brazil and everything.
Yeah.
And I just did some stupid shit. I had a bike too.
Yeah.
Run for the cops.
Yeah.
Regret everything. Have to do my hearing and everything. Get fucked up, but like your speech really helped me.
Bro,
and I appreciate
it'll
it.
get ironed out.
It will.
It'll get ironed out, dude, and just like reset it, use it as a set point, and then, dude, you'll look back and you're like, all right, it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, dude.
It's just gonna be a story.
Just a little bump.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Thank you.
Just a story, bro. I like that.
It's okay.
I thank you for letting me share my message.
Yeah, I appreciate some of the deep down in stories to kind of touch the heart a little bit and teach people like you can pull out of things. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And that's what it is.
It's not easy sometimes, but half the battle is individuals that have gone through it and then just getting out there inspiring people that you can pull through it.
That's
I think is the key.
I think that.
Some people,
Need that warrior spirit in the right way.
when the people come together,
Yeah.
we the people, Joe.
Joe, you got some energy, man.
Yeah, that's right. This is my repurposing. This is my repurposing, man. I don't have any in junior high in Newport. I'm down here.
Yes, baby.
Good, brother.
I'm good.
Yes. How old is she?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for coming out here.
Dude, thank you for listening.
Ooh, she's talking a lot.
Dude, do it. Do it. Man, you could always remember, you're going to get a lot of negativity. Don't worry about it. Just push your paperwork through. Find that good officer that'll push your paperwork through. Let people know what you're trying to do, who can help you, and do it. Yeah.
Other than running, what are some things
I want pattern of blanket today. I feel like we're doing the blanket. Yeah.
Marines do very well in SEAL training. So you know, a lot of former guys do really well because you guys already are tough. You guys already know how to like live in shitty environments. You can run already. Dude, running, calisthenics, you're good. If you can stay light and lean, you'll be fine. Yeah.
I love that name. That's my brother's
Light is right, bro. Yeah, light is right.
shit, man?
Yeah, we like it. I want
Thanks, man.
Do it,
Thank you
dude.
for coming out here. I
Yeah, do
appreciate
it. No, do it, bro. You're like set that goal and do it. Make it happen.